Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Herd 37. So I was looking around for some jobs here in Raleigh, and it's kind of weird. There is hardly anything involving Raleigh-Durham. Like, no, I didn't update many jobs, but it didn't. But I did find this one. It's kind of a shorter one, which is kind of nice, actually. Let's see. It's KRDU, obviously Raleigh-Durham, over to KFLO, which is Florence. This is not the right. It's highlighted in black, but that is not the right one. This is it right here. I don't know why that's black, and even though this is highlighted, I don't know. Weird. I was just looking at Myrtle Beach. It doesn't have many jobs there either. I don't know if this thing didn't. Yeah, not much in Huntington. I just got a thing when I started up to date. Actually, they put out a new version, which is it's kind of weird. They used to put out versions all the time, and it's been a while. So as soon as I probably finish up today, I'll probably update it. I just don't want to update it in case something goes wrong. I won't be able to make a video or anything, go flying. So I'll do that after today. Anyhow, so like I said, it's going to be Raleigh over to Florence, 111 miles or so. It doesn't pay a ton, but I mean, it's short, and it doesn't weigh much, only 557 pounds. So I'll go over here and look at flight sim commander. So the wind here, it's kind of perpendicular. We're going to go ahead and take off on 23 right. And then down here at Florence, unfortunately, we won't be able to use the ILS or anything because the wind is coming out of the south. So we'll go ahead and land on runway 19. Looks like there's bad weather too. There's bad weather everywhere in this country right now. It is raining like crazy. And we got rain. I don't know what it is about this area, but it seems like it rains like every day. But anyway. Runway 19, it's a heading of 190. Airport elevation is going to be 148 feet. And that is actually, let's see, so the heading is, 205. So that's within the 15 degrees or 30 in the arc. I can't remember, like I said, I still got to look that up again. But because of it, we can come straight on in and land. So we won't have to do the traffic pattern or anything. We'll just come straight on in from Raleigh. And I've already got this thing loaded up because I had to go ahead and set the fuel and everything. So I'll click fly now, our Stationair. And we'll have to tell it where to start because I don't want to start in that ZRDU and have to try and find this damn thing. So I've got it loaded up. I put the range, like I said, 111 miles, but I put extra in there just to make sure because I'm a little bit concerned when I fly this plane because of that whole fuel mixture thing and everything. So we'll fly let's go to like 8,500. It's kind of a high altitude plane from what I understand, so we'll fly it a little bit higher, not just 6,500. Not that it's a big deal, it's only 111 miles as well. But it doesn't seem to climb all that well, and it doesn't seem to have that much speed, to be quite honest. Anyhow, we won't do last position, we'll go ahead and select a gate. Like I said, I don't want to screw us up. Is there no parking? I don't like how it lists it. Here's general aviation. I guess we could do that. There's no small, so I'll choose like 7. Lucky 7. Hopefully it's lucky 7. That would put us around noon. Actually, that's fine. Click over there. So that's 1703, but it would knock off 5, so that's good. Because I don't want to be in the dark, especially in the bad weather. My God, that would be terrible. Some of the flights I've had with this bad weather. But with that, let's go ahead and move on over into the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are in the plane. They've got us over in the grass. That's because I don't import my scenery into Air Hauler 2. Because if I did that, every time I'd take one out or fly somewhere else, if I don't have it in the scenery, activated in the scenery library, then it'll kick it out of that one, and you just have to keep on redoing it. It's just kind of a pain, so it's not too bad, though, just a little bit in the grass. In fact, let me go ahead. Can I go ahead and push this thing back a little bit? I just noticed our wing when we turn. It's probably going to hit that fence. I don't know if we got crash detection on or not. I know that sometimes creates a little problem with like FS passengers and stuff like that. So I'll just push her back a little bit. That's probably actually really good right there. So I'll go ahead and stop her. Somebody's on the move over there. I haven't seen him yet. Anyhow, let's go ahead and get in here. Go ahead and set. I was clicking that like it was our parking brake. Where is the parking brake? I haven't even thought about that. There it is. I should have known. So most of them seem to be in these smaller planes. Alright, anyhow. Brakes are set. Ignition and master in avionics, everything is off. I switched it over to cold and dark. All of a sudden, this thing like came alive. That is odd. Alright, so ignition and master switch, avionics master off, master switch coming on. Avionics cooling fan check audibly. I'm not sure if that's what we actually hear or what, but it came on early anyway. Avionics master switch is off, flaps go ahead and extend. It doesn't say to extend them all the way, but I'm just going to go ahead and extend them all the way. Static pressure alternate source is off, it's pushed in all the way. Annunciator panel, we don't know how to test all the lights. Fuel selector valve, let's go ahead and put that in both. There we go. It's in both. We're not going to test the pitot heat. Master switch can come off. So the inspection is all done. Circuit breakers pushed in. Avionics circuit breakers pushed in. Electrical equipment is off. Everything is off. Avionics master switch is off. Cowling flaps. Let's go ahead and make sure they're open. Why did you see that thing just shut off on its own? Very odd. Alright, so let's open these all the way. Cowling flaps are open. Fuel selector valve is in both still. That's one thing I check it like 4 or 5 times. Throttle. Let's go ahead. We're ready for engine start. About a 1/4 of an inch or so. Prop goes to high RPM. Master switch, we can go ahead and turn that on. Let's look at our beacon light. Right there on the left. Prop area, let's go ahead and say it's clear. Auxiliary fuel pump switch coming on. Now we need to watch for a rise in the fuel flow. So that one right there, that top one. Until we notice a rise. Looks like it did rise a little bit. Go ahead and pull that off. And the fuel pump goes off. Now we have to give her a little bit of fuel here as we start her up. Go ahead and put that at full rich for a second. Low voltage, by the way. Got that warning. Alright, let's go ahead and lean her out here. Let's check our RPMs, because it says actually about 1200, leaning out to 1200, and we're at 2000. We'll give her slightly more, although 1000 is pretty good right there. Oil pressure, it's actually not quite in the green. Well, now it's actually coming up still. Alright, it's almost the edge of the green, so we'll go ahead with that. Flaps retract to normal. Yeah, as I let off a little bit, I just let off the throttle a little bit, and the oil pressure came down, so it's more understandable. Avionics master and radios all coming on. Alright, so that looks good. The low voltage warning is now gone. Alright, clearance if applicable. We're not going to go with that. Navigation lights are on. And next we'll just turn on the taxi lights. By the way, let's go ahead and set this to, what was it, 8500? Well, man, that fan is blowing off my procedures. Alright, bear with me 1 second. Pick that procedure up. Alright. Now, I might have forgotten to hit that last light now that I'm thinking about that. Was it refractionary mode or whatever? Actually, no, give me that just 1 second. Go ahead and turn on my taxi light. Power for inside the cabin. Recharge those phones. And pitot heat. Alright. Now, let's go ahead. Parking brake is coming off. And let's go ahead and find our runway here. What'd I say? 25, right? Was it? 23, right, actually? Yeah, 23, right? Okay, so where we are, we might actually take off on 23 left then. Let's go ahead and stop for 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and set my heading in here before I forget. 234 for the heading. Yeah, so I think are we going to be on 23 left then? It doesn't actually matter to me, because we will be taking off to the right. So yeah, I believe we're on the, apparently on the back side. We're usually on the other side. So we're going to be on 23 left. Like I say, it doesn't actually matter. I don't even see any taxi lines or anything. There's Southwest. We'll probably take that taxi line right there, or get on the runway right straight in front of us. Ground gremlins, go away. Yeah, so because we should have plenty of room. Yeah, we'll be all right to go ahead and enter right here. Alright, come up here and stop. Alright, parking brake is on. Let's do our before takeoff checklist. Brakes are set, seatbacks, no, we don't really worry about that. Check out our flight controls, make sure everything is good. Alright, rudder pedals. Alright, everything looks good. Altimeter, I think I've already set that. I just do it by clicking. GPS and autopilot, everything looks good. I'm not going to test the autopilot, we don't usually do that. Fuel quantity, let's go ahead and check that. I wonder, I can't remember if it'll, I don't think it actually, does it tell me the gallons? It doesn't on that bar. 28 gallons, so we should be about 14 each. That looks correct. Auxiliary fuel pump is off. Mixture goes to full rich. Cowling flaps are open. Fuel selector valve is in both. Let's go ahead and throttle up to 1800 RPM. Let me move the seal real quick. So bring her up to 1800. It's going to be too much, isn't it? Come on back a little bit. Alright, that's going to be closed right there, so we'll go ahead and test the mags. Okay, on that one. The other one. The Carenado planes, we never seem to have a problem. Unlike the A-to-A. Alright, so let's go ahead and cycle the prop. I'm back in. Vacuum gauge, I thought we could have it in this. I can't remember where we see the vacuum gauge. I thought it did come into this, but perhaps not. I thought for sure vacuum gauge came up when you went to this side. I do not. There's our vacuum gauge. So it is just in the green. Alright, so oil pressure is in the green. Oil temperature is in the green. Ammeter looks okay. Annunciator panel, there's nothing that can be there for us. So throttle, 1,000 or less. Set our flaps. Cowling flaps are open. Autopilot is off. We'll go ahead and turn on our transponder. VFR. Let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights and our strobe lights. I can't remember. Do we turn on the? I thought we turned on the fuel pump. It doesn't say to, but I thought we usually turn on the fuel pump when you're taking off, but it doesn't say to. I could check the checklist on the thing, but it doesn't say to here, so I won't take it off or put it on. Duck down here. Got a guy taking off. Glad we actually checked. I thought that one we heard coming by would have been that guy, but apparently not. It looks like he's on the move. Yeah, he's on the move. Parking brake is off. We'll start moving once he gets past. I'm sure we'll be getting in his wake. Alright, taking the runway. Probably shouldn't have had my strobes on while he was taking off. It can be annoying, from what I understand. In real life, obviously. Alright, let's go ahead and get on out of here. Whoa, she is hard right. Or, I mean, sorry, left. Trying to fight her. Good lord. Let's go ahead and rotate. Go ahead and retract the flaps. Probably a little early on that, retracting the flaps. I've noticed this plane does like to pull to the left. That, what is that, the torque and the P factor? Alright, so 95 to actually to 105 knots. And we go 30 inches or 2400 RPM, which is ever is less. So move the power back to about 30. Alright, I've got it right there at 30. I'm sorry, it was 30 inches or full, whichever is less. And we knocked this back to 2400 RPM. And it says mixture lean to 20 an hour. Fuel selector valve is still on both. It doesn't say to turn this on, but I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Put that back again. Power. So like I said, 95 to 105 knots. And 20 gallons an hour. I'm not sure we can actually do that. Go over to system. Actually, we're at 17.4, so that's actually okay right where it is. It's kind of surprising. Desired track 091. How can that be? I'm sorry, 214. I was about to say, we're almost straight at it. How could that be that? We're almost over to the line here. Let's go ahead and hit autopilot. We need to cycle through this sometimes, so I'll move that over. Nav. That's the actual autopilot. That's the yaw damper, sorry. We go ahead, arm the altitude. Vertical speed. Let's keep that at 800, that's alright. Check out Raleigh, that's the fault, by the way. We're past all the LatinVFR add-on. scenery. Looks really good. Check my power. And we're right at 30.5. Increase that just a little bit. Not too much over on that side. Still those ground gremlins. I believe if I turn the scenery down a little bit, it would go away. Which makes me think, I don't know if it'd be the video card or the processor. Either way, if one of them is failing, or power supply, either way, that would really suck. Right there at 104, 105, so we're good on our airspeed, like I said, 95 to 105. So it looks good for now. And then when we cruise, power 75% is max. Throttle will go to 50 to 30 inches, and we'll take the props between 21 and 25. So I usually do about halfway in between those. We'll have to look at the power as well. Then we'll close the cowling flaps. Let's see what happens with the lean here. Move this back a little bit. So it says 15.9 right now. But watch when we happen to lean. It actually goes up. You can hear the engine picking up and speeding up by a little bit. And now you see that? So 16.9, then 17, and then as you lean, then it starts dropping. And what are we at right now? 50%. Yeah, so it's odd. I don't quite trust it or don't quite like it, the way it does that. And then it'll go down to a certain amount and then come back up. I don't know if it's modeled correctly or not. It doesn't seem to act like other planes. Like other planes, as soon as you start laying out, it doesn't use more at all, which it doesn't make sense that it would use more at first. It shouldn't. You're leading it. It should never use more. So it doesn't quite make sense to me. If any of you know why that would happen, go ahead and leave a comment, because I have no idea why that would happen. But she's climbing pretty good, although we are pretty light. This is only 500 pounds. And I think this thing is set up to take up to 1,200, 11 to 1,200, something like that. Maybe even more, actually. They got about 2,500 feet to go. Let's see how long it says. 116, it's 111. So how are we now to 116? I don't know. It says it's going to take a little over an hour at this speed. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and speed her on up. I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, everybody, slowing down to normal speed here. That is our runway right ahead of us, or our airport, I should say. Alright, so let's move this over to heading, and I'm going to move this, our autopilot, over to heading. I'm not even sure what that one is. Can't even take it off. So let's go ahead and use this. There's Florence, first one. Oh, they have a tower? Damn it. I didn't figure they would have a tower. They do. I did see the Addons listed 123,625. Let's see if I can bring it up. 123,625. There it is. By the way, we're on low fuel. Visual 2965. Yep, 19. 2965. We got 2965 right there. Okay, so that the big knob actually switches it. All right, and as you heard, 19 is the one in use, which is what we were set up for in the first place. Damn you, ground gremlins! I'd like to get it in view before we actually turn over there. Go ahead and put the flaps to 10. We can do that under 140 knots. Under 100, we can go full flaps. Autopilot is off. Bringing back the power. Let's see if we sink down a little bit. Can we see it? I'm thinking that's it right there. Don't want to get off the power too much, actually. Oh, hell. There it is. There she be. Flaps going to 20. I thought it was going to be... Well, it was a good thing we were looking. We're on the glide slope. It's 190 right there. And we'll go straight on in. Pitched it down a little too much there. So we're at high RPM, full rich on the mixture. It's saying that our fuel is like really low. Pulling back on the power a little bit. Help us descend a little bit as well. Still a little high. I don't like to come in too slow. Although I guess, what is our touchdown speed? Around 70 or so? Might be actually a little less than that. Flaps coming out. Alright, we're at full flaps. She's really wanting to pitch up. Oh, now I've got her. There, I trimmed her down. So I feel like I'll get too slow if I come in any slower. So getting off the power. A little off to the left, now coming back to the right. Says it was okay. We gotta find out where the buildings are. I thought it, by the map it was back to the right. They are back to the right. Wow, come on, stop with that. Good lord. Don't stall her out here either. Alright, getting off the runway, and I guess we just taxi to the right here as well. Come over here. Set her up. Stop the recording. Let's go ahead and turn our pitot heat off. Let's go ahead and lean her out. About 60%. Open up our cowling flaps. We can turn off the strobe and the landing lights. I don't know. Let's see if I can actually turn that off. I don't know how to turn it off. Alright. So let's go ahead and yeah, we taxi right on down this way. Come on, yoke. Not too bad of a flight. I'm glad I put all that extra fuel because it seems like we use a lot more in this plane than we're actually supposed to. Now, I can't get this thing slowed down either. Like the brakes didn't want to hardly work. So, where do we go? Do we go straight on or do we go to the left? I think we could go straight up here. Yeah, it seems like we used a lot of fuel. We took off with 14 in each tank. We'll see if I can tell about how much there is when we stop. Because we only went a little over 100 miles. And I think I had it leaned out to around 50%. And it still had our TIT temperature was below the green. So at the end, I actually leaned it out a little bit more, I think towards 30%, to even get the TIT into the green. Which indicates that it's too cold. Or, well, colder than it's supposed to be. I don't know that that's actually a problem if the air going into the turbine is actually colder than it's supposed to be. We're just going to park right over here. Let's stop her right here. Park brake coming on. I'm going to go ahead and turn this standby battery off. Let's go to the procedures. Shutdown. Throttle comes back to idle. Electrical equipment comes off. We can't actually turn it off. Get rid of this yoke. Avionics master comes off. Mixture goes to idle cutoff. Ignition off. Master comes off. Control lock, cowl flaps come closed. If I can find them. Close the cowling flaps. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. It doesn't actually say to do that. It says control lock, cowl flaps, fuel selector valve does come off. Actually, I didn't turn all the electronics off. I guess electronics, it doesn't say lights, but I guess you would include that in electronics because that's still on. It didn't say anything about that. Alright. With that done, let's go over to air hauler 2. Unload this thing. Get our money. Come on. I guess I gotta close it, huh? finished the flight monitoring. Alright, we took off at 5:17, landed at 6:19. Wow. Alright, so, no, sorry, 6:19, so it was an hour. I was like 2 hours to get 111 miles. That was 1 hour. Took off with 164 pounds, used 85, so we used almost 80 pounds. So if fuel is 6.7, let's see, we used we'll say 80 pounds of fuel by 6.7 for the weight of fuel. We used about 12 gallons for an hour-long flight. 12 gallons an hour? I don't know if that's high or low. We could always check that out. It's about 12 gallons, right at that. Max altitude, 8,509 feet. That's max pitch, negative 12.19. Max roll, 29.13. Max speed, 140 knots. Minimum G's, 0.83. Minimum G's exceeds 0. Max G's, 1.93. Max G's exceeds 0. Stall false. Overspeed false. Landing description okay. Gear down true. Land on asphalt. No damage to the runway. No damage to the plane. Came down at 229 feet a minute. That is kind of quick. Landing speed 57.15 knots. Landing pitch negative 4.47. Landing roll negative 0.26. Landing heading 182. Landing wind speed 9. Wind direction 105. Okay. What the heck? It doesn't want to go off. Oh, I want you to leave me. Alright, well that's a problem. I probably won't let me click anything else, huh? That's odd. And this won't close. Alright, there we go. That was odd. Never had that happen. Company information. Let's go to the finance. I've been messing with the routes and upping them. Upping the pay. Because they were pretty low. Especially one of them I had real low. Like 250. Now I'm right now like 340 testing it. And it seems to be full. So we were kind of losing a little money on that. Monthly overhead. We just paid some bills the other day. It says 321. Now, I think the date that we owe is on the 28th, but that's only some of it. I kind of wish everything could be at the same time, but you know, if you hire people, let's say the 15th, they get paid on the 15th, so it's kind of hard to know exactly when everything is going to be due, because I do want to buy another Stationair and turn it into passenger flights. I was going to buy it outright. You could rent it easily, but 563, it's cost about 266, so it's going to leave us about 300, so a little shy of that the next 5 days, but you know what? I think it's, well, I don't know if I want to buy a Stationair right now because we're getting ready to switch planes and we're going to need another plane as well, which we could rent. So maybe I'll just hold off. I'll probably just hold off. Maybe fly this for another time or two, another job or two, and then, because I want to, wow, I need another base too. I mean, we're fine with what we've got. Myrtle Beach and Raleigh and Huntington, but I do want to expand, obviously. I'm not sure where we'll expand to. I don't want to go into Atlanta, that's for sure. I don't want a base there. It's so hard to fly there. We could have a base there, we just want to use it. By the way, FS Dream Team is making Charlotte, KCLT, which is cool. And they're also making KSDF, which is Louisville. So those two nodes are, that would be cool to have bases of those. We had one at Charlotte, but there was never any scenery for it. And Louisville wouldn't be a bad place to have a base either. That would be kind of nice. So we'll see what happens. Maybe someday someone will make Indianapolis as well. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope y'all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.